Psalm 91. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near you, your dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation.
Hello to all of you in His Glory Nation. This is Julie Green, and you are watching His Glory.
And we want to welcome all of His Glory Nation from east to west to north to south. Welcome to today's Take 5. Bo Polny is back with us. Bo, how are you?
Great. Wow. What a cool day. Christmas Eve. We are doing a podcast on Christmas Eve. I'm not sure when you're going to post this, but what a blessing to be here Christmas Eve. And why this is such an awesome Christmas Eve, because this is the run-up into Christmas with silver. This is the takedown of the Babylonian financial system, okay? We are watching it go down in real time. Okay, understand, I just want to start off with this. This is so fun. Pastor Dave and I have been talking about silver for 3-4 years. Yep. Most people thought we were crazy, just like Noah. And what happened? Okay, you got to give glory to God on this one, okay? Because we've been, this has been, we've been led by the Lord. But the point I'm trying to make is here, those who were wise stewards and listened, guess what? If you followed along what Pastor Dave and I were doing, if you own silver today, you own the number one asset class for 2025 ever. Wow. It literally outperformed everything in 2025. And the wild part is we haven't even seen the silver explosion that's imminent, okay? So those who listened are in a beautiful position right now, and it's about to get wild in the financial sector. And those who were positioned, like Pastor Dave and myself, right? All you do, we're just sitting back and watching. That's all we're doing. We're sitting back and watching what God's about to do. This is like a Red Sea moment where we just sit back and let God.
Amen. It's happening.
Yeah. It was on Sunday. I sent Julie Green. I'm not sure if she told you. I'm sure she may have. But I sent her a very cool video in reference to what's going down, and then her prophecy. Because I remember I did a prophecy with her, a podcast in 2022. I did it, and it was very fun because it was all about because what are we leaving? Okay, this is important to understand. So this Christmas is expected to be the greatest Christmas in human history. Why? Okay, why? Because if you take down the banking cartel, okay, interesting, today is 112th birthday. So basically the cartel is finished, okay? The Federal Reserve System is finished as of today, okay? Why I'm saying that is because we just departed 111 years, the Trinity, 111, okay? So it's over for them. So officially, and the interesting part, the Federal Reserve was founded when? At Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
112 years ago today. Why? Why they do? Because most of the politicians were gone, and they basically pushed through the Federal Reserve Act, and from that point on, we became serfs. We became slaves. We didn't know it, And in the past 5 years, boy, have we been realized to the truth of what they've done with a financial system, right? And it really came apart, okay? As wild as horrible what they did with the Federal Reserve, the whole system came apart on humanity in the 70s when Nixon took us off the gold standard, because then they could create money out of thin air to infinity. And what they do? Create money out of thin air to infinity. We went in the 70s, and I've shown this before, and from 6 digits. So when, the millionaire and his wife, Gilligan's Island, we went from millionaires to billionaires to trillionaires to quadrillionaires. And my point I'm saying is that you can't catch up. And so we went from 6 zeros to 15 zeros with derivative contracts that we sit in today. And so, you wonder why your home, people that are listening, why your homes are worth $500,000, $1 million, okay? They're not worth more than $50,000 what they were worth in the 70s. And that's what's about to come back, okay? So when the Federal Reserve System crumbles, and it starts today, okay, on their birthday, God's about to intervene. This is going to be historic that we're stepping into. It's the great exodus, okay? And back to Julie Green, why this is important, because specifically the prophecy was when you see the water turn red, welcome to the exodus. And why I say that is because, very interesting, that was an exodus, and this is the great one. Okay, so how is it different? Because Exodus of old is and was an area of the world. Okay, it was in the Middle East. Okay, now we've got internet. We got 8 billion people probably on this world. So what I'm trying to say is, because of the mass amount of people on this world, we don't just have, this is not a Middle East issue anymore. It's a global issue. So that means that we're stepping into not specifically the Exodus of old. This is the great one, the worldwide Exodus. What? From a Babylonian enslavement system. So this is very interesting, because this is real time, okay? So we're watching silver explode in real time, okay? We're watching the Exodus, the events of Exodus happen in real time. On December 16th, water in Iran, because this is prophecy about our Middle East, would turn blood red, and it did at the Hormuz Island in the Persian Gulf, okay? And the prophecy was, watch the Middle East. Water will become blood red, and they will shout, how can this be possible? And then God says, welcome to the great Exodus, or the Exodus is here. Okay, so that was prophecy. We're watching prophecy be fulfilled.
It is hard to keep up. Actually, I was actually sitting in church yesterday, and Bo was blowing up my phone because there were some prophecies being fulfilled of something that I had said the Lord had given me back in 2022. And he was talking about water turning into blood, and there was raining. It was raining over in Iran, and it was raining red. And it turned that entire area into looking blood red. And so he was just like, I want to show you what the Lord was doing and what you said back in 2022. 2022 is coming to pass right now.
Yeah, amazing. All these prophecies that are coming to pass. He was blowing up my phone last night. We're pre-taping this on Monday, so this will be aired on Wednesday, the normal Wednesday, which is Christmas Eve. We want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and Jesus is the reason for the season. But he was blowing me up, too, because silver, another prophecy from many people, is breaking all times of records. It's over $69 this morning. Gold hit another high, over $4,400, and it's nothing compared to what's coming.
That's right. It's going to keep going up, and I got another prophetic word. I think it was right before I was on with you last Wednesday. But I don't think I had a chance to give it out. But God was talking about the gold standard and bringing the gold standard back, and why this country left the gold standard, and how it involved Nixon, and how not only it involved Nixon, it was Watergate. They pushed him out. It was something that was so really damning to this country. And what they did when they got rid of the gold standard, it went and for basically the Federal Reserve to be there's unlimited of whatever they wanted. And so that was the beginning stages of them bringing in this country into a bankruptcy. And so God's been warning us of that. And I think last time I was on here and I told you, I said, I feel a shift really in the atmosphere. And there's been a lot of things that prophetically have been coming to pass. We have seen signs that are coming to pass right before our very eyes, no matter what they are. And silver and gold is a huge deal that people, I think, are just like, oh, it's not big of a deal. Okay, what's it? It's going up. It's going up because their whole entire dark financial system is coming down. And they can't, no matter what they try, cannot oppress And suppress, I mean the gold and silver. And so when you're seeing that goes up, that is a sign from God that the golden age is coming. The gold standard is coming back, and the enemies are losing this war in our economy, and they're going to be brought down. And again, God, watch the Fed, watch the IRS, watch Wall Street, because things are going to start crashing really fast. And I believe some of these things will happen soon. I don't know exactly when. I don't give dates, but I know it will definitely be soon. So in this prophecy that God gave me on 12:14, this is the first one. I actually had two of them. And it says the gold standard is coming back. This is one paragraph out of this whole entire prophecy. This is one. The gold standard is coming back to the United States. Why you were taken off will be revealed. The nation will be shocked by the great lengths the deep state took to destroy the United States and the American people. Soon the truth about Watergate and Nixon will be exposed. The deal Nixon was forced to make to take the United States off the gold standard sealed the Federal Reserve's control and gave the globalists an open door to economically bankrupt the United States. And so if I didn't get that one last week, I don't know if I did that one or not on here, but it says gold will continue to be in your news, and so will silver. The great wealth transfer is coming when I destroy your enemy's dark financial system. And then he says, watch banks, big banks will collapse, and as they do, your debt will be wiped out. Now, a lot of people don't realize this. Part of the original Exodus, when there was a wealth transfer, their debt was wiped out. They don't realize, and also in Deuteronomy chapter 15 and verse 1 and 2, it talks about every 7 years there should be a release of all debts. God's will is for people to be free from financial debt.
Yep.
And I heard one minister call it financial leprosy. It's in people. It's that transient stranger that God talks about in Deuteronomy 28. You will, let's say, he will lend to you, but you will not lend to him, or something like that. And so it's a very, very important to know that it will be wiped out. But God was also warning the same people when he says that the debt will be wiped out. He goes, don't borrow more now because of this. Be careful and have a pure heart. I judge the heart of a matter, and stay pure and honest, my children. Your enemy's financial system is about to be unplugged, and a new one will be brought in to set you free from their captivity.
We're watching prophecy be fulfilled. So Exodus is going to be a type and shadow. So the water turned blood red. And of old, check mark. Now we have that happening. Now also, what happened? You had a death angel moment, and right before the death angel, what happened? It's interesting, but before the death angel, you had a time of darkness, right? Okay, so think about this. Was it dark in Goshen? No. Okay, so understand the darkness that we're seeing on the world right now, it's for the globalists. They are freaking out right now because why? Silver is destroying their plans, okay? We've talked about silver. This is important. You're going to see the collapse of Babylon by watching silver in real time, okay? And I just showed you another event of the eggs, and this was important because the Red Sea is critical because it ties in, it just confirms that we are in the year of Jubilee, and we're departing the Babylonian control system, okay? And the prophecy was, watch silver. Why do you want to watch silver? Because it's never, ever in history touched $50. Ever. Okay? 1980, what did it do? It touched 49 and change. Okay? And then in 2011, again, 49 and change. Just a little higher, but it made a higher high, but it never ever touched 50. And then the prophecy was, and Pastor Dave will confirm this, in the year of Jubilee, silver will go through $50. It didn't. It did. Okay. Now this is the wild part. I was looking at the mathematics of this. This is wild. Okay. So a month ago today, Pastor Dave, silver in November 24th, a month ago, so today is December 24th, a month ago was $50. It went up to 54 in October, dropped back down to 47, and a month ago today, it was at $50. So in other words, it went up, came down, prophecy was it would back off, it did, and then it would turn back up and never look back, okay? So a month ago, it specifically was $50. Today, as we speak, it closed today, the market closed was $71.80. In other words, it's up $21 in 1 month. Let that sink in. It's up $21 in 1 month, and it hasn't exploded yet. On top of that, in the past 10 trading days, okay, so since December 14th, it's up another it's up $10. So in the past month, it's up 14. In the past month, it's up $21. In the past 10 days, it's up $10. What does that tell you? It's not proportionally correct. So what's missing? The spike. Okay. So we're about to see a spike that's going to be crazy because it's going to outperform that $21 we just saw, because these past 10 days, by the end of New Year's, we're going to see the explosion. And the explosion literally will probably take silver to, I don't know, my next target. Now that we've got 70, because I've said before on your podcast for 3 years that $68 was the mark to watch. And when it went through 68, then the roof starts getting ripped off and they can't hold it back. And it went through 70. Today, as we speak, it's 71 plus. And the next immediate target is $90 to $92. Let that sink in.
Amazing. I just saw today, too, Jim Rickards says next year he believes $200 silver and 10,000 gold minimum. Back with Bo. We're talking in the break. Exciting numbers coming. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, what a blessing to watch all this again. And the cool thing I want to, the thing I want to emphasize is real time. Like we're watching prophecy unfolding. We're watching the sea turn red. We're watching silver in real time take down the banking cartel. Okay, why? Because they've been trying to hold this thing forever, right? And so silver's been the marker. Finally, it took out $50. Then they couldn't hold it, so it took out 60. Then they couldn't hold 60, took out 65. Then the key number 68, they couldn't hold it. Now blew through 70. As we're sitting right now, it's at 71, okay, 71.80. So why I'm saying all this is because they have specifically derivative contracts that hold billions of dollars worth of ounces. This is important, okay? So this is like the setup of a lifetime that we're watching right now. So this is like the setup of a fireworks of biblical proportions that we're about to see happen here, okay? I'm going to go through a few bullet points, okay? Number one is we've got what's called, we can call the silver Christmas squeeze, okay? Because what happens is what's called low liquidity, which means that most people, like the big guys that run Wall Street, they're in the Hamptons, they're hanging out, okay? So what's about to happen is they've got positions set, they're called orders to sell, but there might only be 100 or 200 positions. And if a whale comes in or someone big comes in like China or something, they can buy those up, gone, right? And then they they'll jump another dollar, buy those up. And so because of low liquidity, there's not a lot of people selling. And so it could literally explode during these holiday seasons, these next 5 days into New Year's, to $100 and then possibly no brainer. Okay. And why? Because it's going to run so fast that they can't control it because of low liquidity, basically. And what might even happen, you could have some of these big guys running to their desks this Friday because Christmas celebrations could happen. So something big could happen in the financial markets here. Tomorrow's, and the prophecy is joyous Christmas. This is supposed to be an awesome Christmas. So are we about to see an explosion tomorrow? I'm just telling you the cycle that I'm looking at right now is it won't stop until it's going to run until I gave a date to Pastor Dave early, but it's going to run until January. No brainer. Okay. So at 71, it's just starting the explosion. Okay. So it's going to take off here. And so during this lull right now of the Christmas time, the liquidity is so low that it could cause the explosion to happen very easily. And this is going to be devastating because when it explodes $5, $10, this is the bullion banks losing billions of dollars per second, which will ultimately and can bankrupt these banking institutions. Well, why is that important? Because in the year of Jubilee, what? It's debt destruction and destruction of the banking cartels that enslaved humanity. So a year of Jubilee, thou shalt consecrate the 50th year, $50 silver, and proclaim liberty throughout the land and to all of its inhabitants. It shall be a Jubilee for you. So we're about to see destruction of the banks that have been manipulating silver. And the way it goes down is silver is called ultimately the bank killer. because it's going to take down the banks that have been doing this. And so we've got, gold nearly almost at $4,500. This is the important part about the ratio, okay? Understand gold to silver ratio. You literally take the price of gold and then the price of silver and you divide it. It's that simple, okay? So if you divide the price right now, it's roughly $62 to 1. So you could sell an ounce of gold right now and get approximately 60 ounces of silver, okay? That's still insanity because in 1980, it went to 10 to 1. In 2011, it went 30 to 1, and right now it's 60 to 1, and the in-ground called the God ratio is 10 to 1, like it did in the 70s, and the 80s. So the point is, if you go 10 to 1 right now, you're looking like you just literally at $5,000, you chop off a zero, and so you should be at 10 to 1, $500 an ounce on silver right now, okay? So to think silver's expensive at 70, oh no, you haven't seen a silver explosion yet, because what have we said? Silver is gold on steroids, okay, in a bull market. So you're starting to see it now where silver jumping sometimes 5% a day, okay? And so you've got this week right now is very interesting between Christmas and New Year's because the big boys are not in town, and if a big whale comes in and buys up the silver, it's going to cause a massive, sudden explosion that cannot be contained.
The trigger. A liquidity vacuum is dangerous, but it needs a spark. It needs a catalyst to ignite the gas. While you were eating your Christmas dinner, something happened in the Caribbean. While you were opening presents, the U.S. Navy made a move that has not hit the mainstream news yet. We are seeing reports of a new escalation in the Venezuela blockade. And this escalation involves a tanker that doesn't belong to Venezuela. It belongs to a nuclear power. 3 days ago, the U.S. Coast Guard intercepted the tanker Bella 1. Yesterday, they boarded the Centuries, a vessel owned by a Hong Kong-based company. Do you understand the significance of this? Hong Kong is China. The U.S. military just forcibly boarded a Chinese-linked vessel in international waters to enforce an oil blockade. This is no longer just about sanctions. This is a direct provocation between superpowers in the Western Hemisphere. Moscow has already issued a statement backing Maduro. Beijing is silent, but their silence is deafening. Russia and China are the primary buyers of this oil. They are the ones whose supply chain is being cut. Now, why does a boat in the Caribbean matter for the price of silver tomorrow morning? Because silver is a war metal. Because silver is a war metal. While the politicians are fighting over tankers, something terrifying happened in the vaults of New York. On December 23rd, just 48 hours ago, one of the largest vaults in the COMEX system was raided. 1.4 million ounces vanished overnight. You can print dollars, you can print rate cuts, but you cannot print 1.4 million ounces of silver. Go search for the official CME silver stock report. Usually, inventory moves are boring. 10,000 ounces in, 10,000 ounces out. It's noise. But look at this line item. Asahi Refining. Minus 1,402,453 ounces. In a single day, over 1.4 million ounces were removed from the registered category at Asahi. Registered means the metal is available for delivery against a futures contract. It is the for sale pile. On December 23rd, someone walked into the Asahi vault, pointed at 1,400 bars and said, "Mine, take them off the market, now." And they weren't alone. JP Morgan Vault, minus 597,993 ounces. CNT Vault, minus 228,780 ounces. StoneX Vault, minus 24,984 ounces. In total, over 2.2 million ounces of liquidity evaporated in 24 hours. Now, why does this matter for Ghost Week starting tomorrow? Because usually, when the price hits an all-time high, $71.11, inventory increases. Why? Because people sell. If you bought silver at $25 and it hits $71, you sell it to the vault to take your profit. The vault should be flooding with metal. But the opposite is happening. Price is at a record high, and inventory is leaving at record speed. This is the definition of a cornered market. The entities taking this metal, we suspect it is a mix of sovereign wealth funds and battery manufacturers, do not care about the price. They care about possession. They know that Ghost Week is coming. They know liquidity is drying up. So they raided the vaults before the holiday to ensure they had the physical metal in their hands. This creates what I call a hard floor under the market. People are terrified of a crash. They ask, what if silver drops to $60 next week? Let me explain why that is mathematically impossible. Right now, the price in Shanghai is trading at roughly $77. The price in New York is $72. That is a $5 spread. If the price in New York drops to $65, that spread becomes $12. Do you know what happens then? Every arbitrage bot, every bank, and every trader on earth will buy New York instantly to sell to Shanghai. It is free money. It is a risk-free trade. This arbitrage magnet acts like a safety net. It catches the price. And because the inventory, Asahi, is being drained, the safety net is getting tighter and tighter. This creates a vacuum of selling pressure. And when you combine a selling vacuum with a buying panic from the war catalyst, you don't get a trend. You get a vertical line. Now, let's talk about the robots. 80% of the volume on the COMEX is high-frequency trading, HFT, and CTA, commodity trading advisor algorithms. For the last 15 years, these bots were programmed with a simple instruction. If silver hits resistance, short it. They made billions fading the rallies. But tomorrow morning, when the Ghost Week market opens, those algorithms are running a different code. Their breakout module has been activated. The logic is simple. If price all-time high plus volatility expansion, initiate maximum long. The robots are no longer fighting the trend. They are chasing it. And robots don't care if the price is expensive. Is $80 expensive? The robot doesn't know. Is $100 expensive? The robot doesn't care. The robot only knows that the price is making new highs, so it buys. And because there is no liquidity, Ghost Week, the robot's buying pushes the price higher, which triggers more buying. This is the algorithmic feedback loop that creates a gap up. Some of the most violent, trend-defining moves in the history of silver began exactly during this dead zone. The Ghost Week is not a time of sleep. It is a launch pad. If you remember that 1.4 million ounces just left the vault, then you have nothing to fear. The paper silver game is ending. The real silver era is beginning. Enjoy your holidays, watch the Venezuela news, and get ready for Monday.
You've got this week right now is very interesting between Christmas and New Year's because the big boys are not in town. And if a big whale comes in and buys up the silver, it's going to cause a massive, sudden explosion that cannot be contained. Also, a lot of the dealers right now, most dealers are shutting their doors. It's hard a lot of dealers don't even want to sell it right now because the price is jumping around so quickly and they're not sure if they can restock their inventory. You've had the news coming out is awesome, right? You've got Tesla making batteries that are 48 volt, no longer 12 volt, and those to prevent the spark and the fires, you have to have silver as the contact. So every Tesla car needs, I think it's like 2 or 3 ounces of silver to make those contacts, right? And then you got the other the Samsung battery right now that can literally, I think it was like 900 miles on a 10-minute charge. And these are solid state batteries that never deteriorate. So understand the industrial side is off the charts, okay? And then this is the wild part, okay? A couple more parts I want to, the silver mania. We've been talking about this for how long? Pastor Dave, probably not 1% of the population even has an ounce of silver.
Right.
Okay. And they're all waking up to, wait a second, what's happening? And they're all like, well, I want some of that. Okay. So we're about to see the 99%ers pile in. That's about to happen. And not only including the whales that have big money that want to buy it for industrials because they want to buy the whole maybe next year's silver supply from a mine because they want to make this battery that they know that they may not be able to get silver next year because of what's going down. So they might put a big, crazy order in that this silver never even hits the markets. Like it doesn't even hit the street. So you don't even know it's available. So that's happening. And then lastly, like I've talked about, it's this vacuum effect of what I'm seeing happening here with silver. So silver itself, when it starts to explode vertically, what it does, it really starts to accelerate aggressively. And I want to show this chart here because this is important to understand charting. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand what I'm showing you here, okay? So I want to just show all the viewers, this on charting is called, again, you can just look at this, okay? Everybody have a cup of coffee ever? Okay, this is called a cup and a handle, okay? So you can see a cup. This is the cup formation right here. And so you can see that cup very clearly. This is a cup, okay? And then there's a handle, and then it breaks the handle. So let's look at silver, going back to 1980. So this is the top, 1980. 2011, there's your cup. And then the handle just broke right here. The handle's broken. Okay. So now you have to tilt this on an angle and you look at resistance points. You can see why I said $68 to $69 was going to be a battle, because if you look at the resistance way over here on the left-hand side, going back to 1982 and then to 2011. So you got resistance and resistance. And so what happens is at $68, $69, it's a resistance point. Now that that's broken, Pastor Dave, 92 becomes a vacuum. So it's called a vacuum effect. It's literally going to start to suck silver up to $92. And then that's not even the top, because the final line after that takes it to roughly $115 to $120. So we could see those numbers imminently. Like on an explosion, you'd see it this month. On a quick, aggressive price rise, we'll see that probably by January. Either way, this is game on. And lastly, this is biblical timing, okay? Understand that today is 3,333 days from November 8th, 2016, when Trump got elected. Today is 3,333. And yesterday, this is biblical because we're stepping into Christmas, and yesterday was 77 years, 7 months, and 7 days from when Israel was declared a state. So we're about to see a birth of God's kingdom. God's kingdom is about to be birthed with the fall of Babylon, because Pastor Dave will fully agree here, the light cannot stand with the darkness. And when the light comes up, it will shine a light on all the deals that have been done in darkness. And there is your great awakening. Welcome to 2026.
Yeah, it's going to be a year like no other year ever. It's going to be incredible. And it's already started. Polny, thank you so much. Now